very live. I mean, we do go back and re-record the bits, but for instance, getting the drum tracks down, which we did first, we all play the songs together and play them over and over again. So Phil gets the right groove and everything, and we're all happy with it. Then we go back and we do our parts, and yeah, and it comes together like that.
It's all about life experience, and you know what's happening to the man on kind of on the grand scale of things, you know, and the constructs of the world we live under, the media, the government, the powers that be, you know, all these you know, questionable things in life, you know, and just, I mean, Toby's writing the lyrics, so, you know, he's the real man to ask and get the best answer from, but, you know, we talk about things and what's going on in the world and life and day-to-day things, and, you know, kind of, we're pretty much on the same page with that sort of thing. So, yeah, we just care about the plight of mankind, really. We're all in it.
I love having the ability to sort of layer stuff up and really get to grips with how, you know, how the song is built up. I love being in the studio, but to me I much prefer the live element of it. I much prefer that sort of excitement of doing it. But actually to sit and really listen to the songs critically actually can be a lot of fun, particularly when you're doing it like this, when a lot of it is so sort of spur of the moment, and we've got time. That's a big difference with how we're doing things this time. Actually, we've got more time. We've got time to go and listen to things, and there have been a couple of songs that we've got up and running and working, and guitar tracks down and everything on, and then we've gone, actually it's the wrong speed or something isn't working, so we've gone back and totally redone it. And to have the sort of ability to do that is brilliant.
And as you'd expect, really, we'll kind of write our own parts and arrange it ourselves and add bits in and take bits out, and it's quite a lengthy process, but it's quite cool as well. And it's quite interesting to see something that starts on a phone, you know, with a man singing in his bedroom, to ending up full blown in a studio and hopefully on a big stage soon. It's quite a great thing, you know.
You have to have your own imprint, you know, it has to be you, you know, it has to come from a pure place, it has to be authentic. So how do you get that authentic voice? Well, you have to allow it out, you know. A lot of the time I think bands and musicians often lean heavily on the shoulders of others because it's a safe place, it's a safe place to be, it's familiarity. You know, so the trick really is to sort of try and get yourself away from that familiarity and bring your own sense of self in, and that's very hard to do. But I've learned over the years how to do that. I've learned that there's a point when I'm working on an idea. Quite often I'll think, like we've got a song on this album called Us Against the World, which is one of the first songs I wrote. And when I started working on it, the whole trick with that song was I wanted to get from the 12th fret down to the first fret, going down every fret. That was my exercise. I didn't even have an idea for the song at the time, but I wanted to get down the fretboard to literally to the open chords and use every fret on the way down. And I wanted to work out a way of doing that. So I started doing this movement, working my way down, and I became aware pretty quickly that it kind of sounded quite Bowie-esque, and that was completely by chance, really. I didn't go in there thinking, right, I'm going to go and listen to Life on Mars and I'm going to try and work out what the chords are or anything like that. I started working on this idea, and quickly I thought, hang on, that sounds quite, it's got a bit of Bowie about it, so I like that, that's really cool. So I started working on it and continued to write the song. And but from that point on, I was kind of channeling the feeling that I felt that Bowie gave me, especially the early records, like the Spiders record. I was channeling that idea and that feeling in my head, but it reached a point where it ceased to feel like that, and it jumped into my own song. It became something that I recognised was no longer, the pivotal influence was no longer what it was. It had become me, it had become Toby Jepson's song. And I've learned how to do that, because if it's too close, if something becomes too close, because you know what happens when you write songs is you're most of the songs I write pop into my head. I'll wake up in the morning and I've got I've got an idea and a little word or a couple of things, and I go down and pick up the guitar and I try and work out what it is, and then I leave it and walk away. Often when I come back and listen to it, I'll go, oh God, that's Queen, innit? Oh dear, I better not use that one then, type of thing. Because you realise that what you've done is you've just absent-mindedly looked at probably a very popular song and reinvented it. But the ones that work are the ones that start like that and then end up as your own song.